Namato Ratanatayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Zem, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. And hi. Hello, everyone. So today is 9th of April 2020. This is Ajahn Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center in Aberdeen. As usual, I'm here at 6:30 to give a short reflection, and then followed by we will have a chanting and a meditation, a guided meditation. You are most welcome to join with us. And again, first of all, I would like to extend my appreciation to those who have donated towards the center, such as like a Colin and also from Switzerland and from England, Yom Lek. During this crisis, all small support are more appreciated, and also would like to thank you all the members who are dropping off food to the venerable monks and also other necessary things at the center. And also thank you very much all the messages and some questions and some opinions that I was asked to speak. So as usual, that's why if you have any questions or anything that you would like me to speak on, then you may text to me. And further announcement that this week, the Sunday, we announce for the Songkran festival, the Asian New Year festival, but this has been cancelled. But again, you still are invited to join with us online on Facebook at 1 o'clock. The monks will do the blessing chanting and also special chanting for our departed beloved ones and transferring merits to the departed ones. So you are most welcome to send the old names that you would like the monks to pray for. Right. In this situation, which is a very difficult situation for every one of us, and we are still isolating and keeping a social distance, and we are still fighting with this uncertainty. What is going to be in the future. I've just read the news on Canada. A Canadian Prime Minister announced that there will be more uncertainty, and the Wales government already extended their lockdown, and UK government is also going to extend the lockdown. So this is a very uncertain time. But again, when we look at the situation, this coronavirus, and we are locking ourselves down inside the house, is in a way, we are very lucky that we are so safe. Whereas in the past, if we have to lock down or a country been locked down, then it will be a chaos when there is no peace of mind. We still have a peace of mind, and when we stay at home, we feel safe. Whereas if there is a war, a country locked down, or if there is a flood or the earthquake, country locked down, then again, this situation will be very different. We won't be able to stay inside and feel safe. In fact, there is no place that we could feel safe if any other crisis hit. So this coronavirus epidemic, this crisis, at least we can feel safe at home, and also staying at home helping others too. So this is, if you look at the positive side, that this is what we could think of. And we may think, I was asked to, tonight I was asked to speak on something about Hinduism and Buddhism, and also there was a message asking me to talk on something about the ultimate truth, on the Hindu truths, Hindu ultimate truths. Well, before I go back to I speak about it, I would like to tell you a small bit of a background of myself. So I wasn't born Buddhist. I was born Hindu. So I followed Hindu traditions, Hindu culture, and also was kind of following Hinduism along with my father. And since I was about 9 years old, I began reading so-called the chronicles of the Lord Shiva. And every year, for 1 month, each day one chapter, I used to recite in front of the members. So I used to read the story of the Lord Shiva every night in those days, let's say about over 20 years ago, before I come to contact with Buddhism. In the meantime, Hinduism, quite a number of people think that Hinduism and Buddhism are quite similar. And when we look at it in teachings, it is not similar. It is quite different. And this we can see from the teachings of the Hinduism or Brahmanism and Buddhism. It's quite a different. First, in Hinduism, there is an Atman, which is the a soul, the eternal soul, whereas in Buddhism there is no such eternal soul. And then the concept of the karma again is the God's will, God's wish, according to Hinduism, whereas in Buddhism karma is your action, and the Buddhism itself is not about the karma, it's about the vidya, so-called vidyavada. You can change your destiny, whereas in Hinduism you cannot change your destiny. So that's why there are so many different concepts and different in between this Hinduism and Buddhism. And one thing which normally people talk about is reincarnation in Hinduism, and people think that reincarnation in Hinduism is similar to Buddhism. And again, this is also a different subject. In Hinduism, reincarnation means the soul is continuously reborning again and again, and that soul mostly or almost all the time is the soul of the God, not of individuals. Whereas in Buddhism, there is the concept of reincarnation is not a reincarnation, but called rebirth. Partly rebirth. So which is different. And that rebirth again is depending on our action that we do. So that's why it's completely two different subjects. And when we look at the Buddha's teaching, we don't have to go into the deeper studies. Even just looking at the first discourse of the Buddha that he gave to the 5 ascetics after he became enlightened. In that particular sutta, Buddha also mentioned that there are 2 types of people, 2 groups of people. One group of people seeks happiness through the austerity, with hard on themselves, and the second group of people seek happiness with luxuries, entertaining the sensual pleasures. And this we can see a lot too, even these days. So, and these are 2 groups again. One group who is a group who takes austerity, thinks that there is a eternal existence, or something that our soul will continue reborn and until we unite with the higher soul. And whereas the second, which is called the Kama Sukhalikana Yoga, means the entertaining or entertaining in our sensual pleasure, then again it's like a materialistics. This only life exists. Once we die, then there is none. So these are 2 concepts were there, and Buddha also went in to study these and realized that these 2 parts or 2 groups are not the right ones. So that's why he followed the next one, and that's how Buddhism begins. So the Buddhism is not talking about the eternal existence or eternal soul, which goes and unite with the Atman, or the greater soul, or so-called God. Nor there is only one life after death. There is nothing. So Buddha didn't deny both views, but also says they are not the right views. So Buddha introduced so-called the middle path. It's called Majjhima Patipada. And that comes under the Four Noble Truths. And when we follow that, the Buddhist concept is to understand that everything interdependent arising. There is no single entity that exists without some help from another entity. All entities are interdependent, even our soul, even our consciousness, even ourself. So it's the interdependentness causes to realize that there is no such things is a permanent. And that what needs to be understood. And the teachings of the Buddha is to understand that everything interdependent. We are dependent of something else. When we realize this interdependentness, then we realize that everything must change and everything is like that. And in this situation that we are in again, if we reflect back, we are so dependent on the society, dependent on so many things, dependent on so many the social relationship. And as soon as we stopped, and you can see that how many things that people are connected with the society, with the country, with the people. So we are so all dependent. And with this crisis, we are keeping ourselves at home. Some people may think it's a difficult one to do, difficult one to practice. But again, if you are become mindful of it, what you will realize that keeping yourself isolating at home is you're keeping your physical body safe. You're keeping yourself healthy. You're keeping yourself well. In the meantime, because of your isolating yourself, you're also keeping others in a safe mode too. But again, the physical pain or physical suffering is temporarily. We can save it. But now what is eating us or what is bothering us at this time of this situation is the mental suffering. We don't have got this virus yet, and we have a fear. So this is a mental suffering. There is anxiety, is a mental suffering. Frustration, anger. These are the mental sufferings that we have to understand. And whether we got the virus or not, whether we physically unfit or not, but if our mind is fit enough, if our mind is not sick, we will be able to deal with it so well. And in the meantime, if we haven't got the virus and we are safe, we are well, and this time if our mind is fit, if our mind is well, healthy, then again, not only helping our own self, but also helping to the other people too. When we realize ourselves, that how much we look at ourselves and looking after ourselves with a strong mind of this so-called the mindfulness, we will be able to extend this compassion, this kindness towards other people too. Yeah. So, not only keeping ourselves isolating at home and then keeping ourselves safe from the virus, but also we have to keep our mind also in safe mode too, well and healthy. And only then we will be able to function ourselves properly, and we will be able to deal with the situation properly, and we will be able to cope with it and carry on with our life. And when we look at it, we will make peace within, because we realize that this life is not the end of it. This body that we are using it, end of the day we have to leave, but our consciousness will carry on getting rebirths until we have fully purified ourselves and then attain the arahat or the noblehood, these nibbanas. And that moment, the mind or the consciousness is not going to unite with the greater soul. No, this mind is just complete after this life ends. So we don't have to worry about this virus much, but mentally we need to be fit. Mentally we need to be healthy. And with this understanding, what will be good to know that we will be continue rebirth again and again until we achieve the enlightenment. So we become more conscious about our own actions in this present moment, the way we speak, the way we behave, the way we think. When we behave in a wholesome way, in a beneficial way towards ourselves and then to others, that only brings happiness to ourselves and then to others. And that also paves the way path towards the liberation of ourselves too. We will be purifying ourselves. So we don't need to worry too much. So we keep ourselves safe by keeping ourselves indoor and keeping the social distances, simply to keep our bodily or physical body well, and which not only keeping our physical body well, but we have to keep our mind well too. And in case you get the virus and unwell again, this body we have to live here on this earth, but our consciousness will continue onto something else. So keep the consciousness clean and pure in whichever situation, understanding that this condition, depending on this and that, we got this virus. So as let's say when we go to the shopping, when we go to the talk to people, or not keeping the social distance, simply because not being mindful, and touching our faces without washing our hands, not keeping the masks when you go out, and not isolating yourself if you get the symptoms. And these are the conditions causing to get the virus. So we are depending on that. And if we do not do that, if we stop it by just staying at home and being mindful, conditioning ourselves and isolating ourselves, then we will not get it. And in this case, again, when we get it, again, understanding that if we do the right thing, and then the immunity system develops in us, and we will be free from it too. As in the previous talks that I have mentioned already, that whether there is a good care or good medicine or not, if our system is good, our immunity is good, then that won't affect us at all. We will get well. And in case we may have to leave this body, but our consciousness is so pure and so clean, and the conscience is clear, then we again reborn in a good place, right? And this rebirth again and again until we will be able to get rid of this greed, hatred and delusion completely, and that moment we attain the enlightenment. And this enlightenment, as earlier on said, that it's not about reunion with the greater soul, but simply disconnecting all the connections, all the depending things, and then at the end it's just nothingness. Yeah, it's like if you look at the scientific example, an atom is combination of electron, proton, and so and so. When these are working together, one atom develops. But the very moment if you take these electron and proton and whatever whatever this energies is working to create this atom, then the atom will not be there. So the atom is there because depending on something else. An atom is not there when all the causes been taken away. So that's same with ourselves too. We have to realize this, that there is no union with it, the so-called anatta. And in order to understand that anatta, what we have to understand is the anicca, or the impermanence, the changing nature. Things that constantly change. When the changes takes place, we are unable to accept that change, unable to observe that change, then that causes a suffering, that causes a pain. And at the same time, if we experience this change from a deep insight, from our own experiential level, from inside, so-called the inside meditation or the bhavanamaya panya, then we realize that nothing is permanent. Everything must change. And this moment, what you will be able to experience in your meditation, that from your own experience, from your own insight, you will realize that everything are changing. Everything is in such a flux. And this one thing arises depending on something else. And when we understand that everything is arising in depending on something, then there is no such thing is called the entity. And that is anatta. So anatta is actually a result. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to ponder about it. We don't have to philosophically go on debating about it. We are simply doing the cause, understanding the cause, understanding this cause that makes it happen. So-called, when this is, that arises. When this vanishes, that vanishes too. So that is the teachings of the Buddha in order to understand the so-called Anatta, or the Atman, and also applying in our day-to-day life how it relates and how can we be free. So I offer this as a reflection for tonight, and as I repeat again, I want to repeat again that I will be coming back again every night, UK time at 6:30, to give you some reflection and different topics, and followed by we will have a half an hour chanting and half an hour guided meditation. So you are most welcome to join every night. And if you have any questions or anything that you want to share, particularly if that's related to meditation, would be great. So you can drop me a message on Facebook. And further notice, and that this Sunday we will be having this special chanting to celebrate this Songkran festival, or Asian New Year, and also having a special chanting dedicating our beloved departed ones. So whoever would like your departed ones chanted for your departed ones, you can text their names to me, and then we will do the chanting on Sunday afternoon. And further, I also would like to extend my thanks to everyone who is supporting the center, and despite of this crisis, supports coming and helping to the center, upkeeping the center, particularly like a Colin. Hello Colin, thank you for your second donation within 1 week. And also other members, those who are supporting financially, and other materials providing to the center. So we are all safe and carrying on the activities, hoping that once this situation ends, we can come back and work together and developing this mindset of cultivating the meditation. With that reflection, may you be happy, peaceful, and stay safe, and stay healthy, and not only keeping your physical body healthy, but also keeping your mind safe, healthy, and clear. Keep the conscience clear at all the time. So always mindful as you go out, or as you whatever you do. So mindfulness is the great assistant, said the Buddha, that helps us to lead the happy life. And I hope you will continue listening the chanting and guided meditation. So thank you, and you may come back again, or you can continue. Thank you.